Hey guys, Justin here from Game Time Edits, giving you all the tips and tricks you need to pump up the quality of your content creation. In this video, I'm going to teach you all about keyframes, what they are, and how they can add a lot of value to your piece. Keyframes can be used in a variety of different ways. It all comes down to experimenting, have a play, see what you like, see what works for you and the games that you play. Take these basics and work upon them, and I'm sure you will not be disappointed. On my timeline, I've got a game of StarCraft 2, which I'm going to use to demonstrate keyframes. Navigate your way over to the Effects Controls tab. Here we can modify attributes to a clip, like its position or scale, and will be our primary location when it comes to keyframes. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see a little stopwatch icon called Toggle Animation. We're going to switch this on to place our first keyframe. I'm then going to shuffle down the timeline just a couple of seconds and place a new keyframe using the Insert Keyframe button. Notice how I can jump between keyframes by using the next and previous keyframe buttons. Parked on my second keyframe, I'm going to adjust the scale by typing in the amount that I want. I can also adjust the amount by left-clicking and holding the value, scrubbing it back and forward as I move left and right. As I play my timeline, you'll notice that I now have a slight zoom in of my Zerg hatchery using keyframes and the scale attribute. By bringing the two keyframes closer together, I can speed up my zoom in. The scale values of the two keyframes remain the same, however, the duration between them has decreased. If your keyframes visually look too close together, hit plus on the keyboard in order to punch in on the timeline. Now I've brought my two keyframes even closer and my zoom is a lot faster. So I've got my scaling keyframes in a really good spot and at a speed that I like. What I'm going to do now is adjust the position so that my hatchery is in the center of the screen, using the exact same keyframe locations as my scale. You'll notice a blue line on your preview monitor, which shows the path between the keyframes that your vision will be traveling. That's a lot better. Not only is it nice and fast with its zoom in, but it also has my hatchery in the center of the screen. The next selection I'm going to play with is the rotation. I'm going to use the exact same keyframe locations to create a 180 spin on my image. Let's see how this looks. Absolutely terrible. Because I don't like that, I can simply highlight my keyframes and delete them using the delete key. The next thing I'll play with is the clip's opacity. Using the same keyframe locations as my scale and my position, I can change the opacity value of my first keyframe to 0, leaving the second one at 100. As I have no other clips on my timeline, this will create a makeshift fade from black. If you want to replicate the movements that you've already created, you can gather, copy, and paste them anywhere you like across the timeline. In this case, it'll zoom in, zoom out, then back in again. Here's a great example of some basic keyframing. On my timeline, I have two identical clips of Zerglings running out of my base. The first clip is just your normal view from the player UI. My second one is me using positioning and scaling to accurately follow the Zerglings running out of my base. For those playing at home on Sony Vegas, you can hit the Event Pan Crop button at the end of your clip. This will open up the Video Effects tab, which will allow you to use the timeline to place keyframes and adjust the positioning, scale, and rotation values of your clip. For questions or additional information, drop us a line in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Game Time Edits.